Okie doke. Hello and welcome. This is Andy here, and a very, very interesting story that comes together. If you're in the know, you'll know about Agenda 2030 already, and you'll know this common statement, which is problem, reaction, solution. Now, how does that apply? Well, they create a problem, you get a reaction to that, and we can take this as a practical example, and then they offer you the solution to that problem. So, lots of things have been happening lately, yes, and I'm not going to mention too many of them. This lady video is worth looking at, so have a look at that first and then we'll come back.
Are we watching a show playing out? I think we are. I decided to cover the hotels. I've been aware of them for obviously 4 to 5 years, and there's been a lot of stories coming out 4 years ago that I would say were probably conspiracy theories, but I decided to cover a couple of the hotels for a couple of reasons. One was because I knew some people actually in Epping that were affected, but most importantly I could see how the people were being played. I could see that there was a narrative being fed, and that's been happening for 5 years now. I say that everything about this is a psychological game, one of manipulation, conditioning and scaremongering, and that's how they managed to get us to buy in to this agenda. And there are so many different levels to the agenda that it is so confusing. And obviously that started with COVID and the lockdowns, the pandemic. That was to scaremonger everybody. And how did they do that? They did it through mainstream media, through their videos, of everything that they were showing us. And then when it actually came to this country, were we seeing people dropping down dead in the street? No. But by then, the repetition of what you were being told by people that you trusted, our government and our mainstream media, people bought into it. That was the start of the planning, really, that had been going on for years, put into action. And everything since then has been done through this psychological manipulation. So I could see that there was a narrative being fed here, this labelling of far-right racists. I wanted to counteract that. I needed people to see that that isn't actually what's happening. This isn't why those people are protesting, and I'm going to still continue to do that, but I needed to do that with my own eyes. I needed to cover it to show what happens when it's just locals protesting, what happens when there are counter protesters, which are clear are paid antagonizers. This is the game. They want the people angry and frustrated. Now I'm going to go a little bit out on a limb, and I'm thinking, why now at this particular point? We know there have been many in these hotels for 5 years now across the entire country, and it isn't just this country, it is actually global, but England does seem to be the test subject for everything. Everything seems to initiate in this country, whether it's the net zero agenda with the war on the motorist. Everyone seems to be looking at what is happening in this country, whether it's directly in London and then the UK as a whole. So over the last 5 years, obviously the hotels have increased. So we know the numbers are obviously increasing. But why are we only really hearing about it now at this point in time? Why not a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Or when they first started putting them in hotels? Why now? And why is it now that, and this is true, is it a daily occurrence of antisocial behaviour, stalking, harassment, sexual assault? Why are we hearing about it so much now? Now, okay, we can say, mainstream media now have jumped on this and are making us aware. But it isn't just mainstream media. This is the reason why the locals are protesting, because pretty much every single area has their own stories, not just one case, but multiple cases. So I'm going out on a limb and saying it's almost like they've been activated. It's almost like this is the next step in the plan of the psychological manipulation so that we all react, and essentially we're doing what they want us to do, and we're playing into their hands. They just said, go on, off you go, free reign, go and do whatever you want on the streets. There's going to be no comeback, none of you are going to get arrested, so that we all get really angry. We feel that we've been treated unfairly. We are watching a show, definitely, and I think we're playing right into their hands. Now, I don't know what the solution is. I really don't, and I'm trying to rack my brains thinking, what should we be doing? Because obviously, you know, as a mother, if my children were, you know, in fear, or something had happened to one of my daughters, then I would be doing exactly the same. So we're definitely reacting to what it is that they're kind of instilling into us. But I definitely think we are giving them what they want. This is what they want. We've been talking about this for 4 to 5 years ago. At some stage, we knew they would want civil unrest. They would push the people to the point where everyday ordinary citizens would take to the streets, and then they would crack down on us. Now, the obvious thing is to implement the digital ID, because we will beg for it. We have already seen, I mean, I was saying over a year ago, crime rate is going up. That's for fact across the board. Whether you're awake or not, people are talking about the fact they don't turn up to burglaries, theft, assaults, robberies, all kinds of things. They're just not. The excuse, there's not enough police on the streets. So what do they do instead? They put in CCTV, they put in facial recognition, and of course the people are going, well, wouldn't you rather have that? If the police can't turn up to a crime, wouldn't you rather know if your car's been stolen off the drive and it's picked up on CCTV down the road? And of course you're going to say yes, of course you are, but do you really think it's going to be used for that? So now here we are a year or so down the line, and we are getting more CCTV. The police now, to be able to police, are now telling us that they're going to be using facial recognition, and these cameras are going to be going up everywhere. Now they need the civil unrest, and this is why this is happening. This is why this is happening in these hotels with the illegal immigrants, because they want us to be in uproar. They want us out on the streets so that they can clamp down on us. And we're saying these are undocumented people, and they need to be vetted, they need to be documented, they need to be tracked. And they'll go, no problem, we'll do it for all of you. This is why we need digital ID. The breaking down of the economy, what they've been doing since COVID to destroy the economy, is so that they can go to CBDC, digital currency. That's the complete and utter control. Now people ask, why would they do this? Well, really, they've been telling us in films for years. So just go and take a look at a film where you have the evil, control freak, power-hungry, greedy, sadistic psycho who wants world dominance over, you know, the poor people. And then the good people are, you know, creating a movement to fight against the evil. That is literally what is happening. It is power-hungry, crazy people.
Now, what's the next thing that I want to talk about? Well, in the news, we know that this is escalating. They are pushing it a little bit too much lately. And of course, for those in the know, you'll know that the end goal, we have to look at the end goal, is basically digital everything. So digital control of your life, restricting your life. You won't be able to go anywhere, you won't be able to go and do anything, you won't be able to travel anywhere, you won't have any money, unless they tell you that you've got money, because that will be digital. You won't be able to buy things that you want to buy because they will limit you, and that will be based upon allocations of carbon tax or whatever. You basically will do as you're told and live your life as they've just already told you. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy. What is happening? Because, well, they keep on about this, that something is happening. And there's several different angles that have come out in the news. One, a sort of a alien type event. They reckon it's some sort of asteroid thing, or planet or something like that coming round that's going to cause trouble. It could well be aliens, because they've always been on about them, and they keep on flashing, different things in the media. Nothing official yet, but there's all very much they want to get the reaction. And the other thing is obviously the migration. They're getting a big reaction from that, aren't they? Because that is actually, as the lady said, it's been going on for a little while now, and it just really, they've started to push it a little bit more. Why? Well, they want to get a reaction, because they want to push this whole thing through to the end, to the solution. Now, we can look at this in another way. How are they going to do that? Well, what's happening around the country? We have, yesterday was Liverpool protesting. There's been protesting all around the country. And of course, we do have a major event coming up on the 13th of September, which is our friend Tommy Robinson in London. And it's allegedly going to be the biggest event this year. Now, you can argue either way about Mr. Tommy. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? People love him, people hate him, whatever. He's basically the face behind this plan. And I would be exceedingly disappointed if he was playing the other side, if he was playing for the other side. If he wasn't on the people's side, I would be very shocked and disappointed. That's my opinion. You may disagree. But in order to get problem, reaction, solution, we need something to happen. And one of the other things that is in the pipeline, and that has also been in the mainstream media, is this surge. The surge, 38% up on the old coof. The coof that people get. The coof. Yeah? So you know what I'm on about. I don't need to spell it out to you. But basically, 38%. And also you have to link that into what's been going on in the background with the Who. Not the band. Remember, we have the IHR, the International Health Regulation, which was finalised by most countries around the world. The WHO now have control over whether there is going to be a pandemic or not, and they can force the governments of the world they are signed up to abide by what they tell you. So if they say there is a pandemic and you must lock down, then the government has no choice, is legally bound to comply. So think about that. Now, if there is another strand to this, which is a mass event, they are planning, because they have this event thing that they plan. I can't remember, is it Pegasus? Yes, I think it's Pegasus.
And public sectors. And later this year, we will have the largest ever national pandemic exercise that will test the UK's readiness.
So they had another one, which was 2000 and whatever, Event 201, which predicted the COVID thing. Yeah, you remember that? So they had it before the actual thing, and then it came true. So you can pretty much say that Pegasus is going to happen, and it can happen quicker because of the WHO. But on that particular avenue, we also have to look at this piece of news. They have awarded a contract with over 1 million to prepare for a mass fatality event, Why? How is it going to happen? Is it going to be the asteroid? Or is it going to be the Koof? Or is it going to be something else? Is it going to be at the event on the 13th? Are they going to force this so that there are people, and then people will go, oh look, all those people died. I think we need to have some more security. I think we need to have digital ID. Yeah, you see where we're going with this? It's not rocket science, but if you understand problem, reaction, solution, you can see where we're going. But 1 million has been awarded, and it's to provide coffins, basically coffins they want, and also like they say that it's a storage of bodies. Over 700. Let's bear that in mind when a few weeks' time, when things kick off. And between September and November is the period of time when allegedly this is going to happen. So by the end of the year, we should know. Now, if they lock down, how is that going to cause a mass fatality? Well, I think you'll probably find that people won't go ahead with it. We had enough with that last time. I know a lot of people have said they're not going to do it, not going to take part. So people will go on the street. Then we have the idea of arrests being made, maybe riots. That's what they want. They want riots because they want control. And also we have to bear in mind this alleged UN army thing that they've been sort of in the background burner. Because certainly I can't see any normal people that are living here wanting to go out on the street and attack their own people. I really can't see it. But remember, problem, reaction, solution. And end goal. Think about the end goal as well. Could it be that they're going to go to war? Could it be they're going to send people in the army? One avenue was going to the Middle East. The one country that we are sort of supporting, are they going to send people there? Because obviously that's another Ukraine, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think down below, because it is a very, very interesting time. It's scary and annoying in the fact that I'm just fed up with it all. I just wish it was all over. We need to be aware that we don't want any of their plan, because it's not in our best interest. But at the moment, I don't know where we're going with this. Right. So as I say, let me know down below what you think, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.